Now, what an extraordinary album. R.A. the Rugged Man, All My Heroes Are Dead. An incredible album. Now, this review, I'm going to give it to you like this. I'm going to go over the tracks that stood out to me, and I'm going to talk about the theme of the album. Now, for a lot of you that don't know, R.A. the Rugged Man has been rapping for a very long time. He goes back even before the days of Biggie Smalls. Biggie Smalls considered R.A. the Rugged Man one of the greatest rappers, even considered R.A. in a class above himself. I'm talking about Biggie Smalls saying this. Now, this album called All My Heroes Are Dead has 23 tracks. It's got 19 songs on it. Now, it is incredible. R.A. showcases his double time flows on some songs and his boom bap style, his old school boom bap style on others. And then he shows you a mix of, the supple flow and the classic boom bap by switching it up on other songs. So he's got a well diversified album. Now, the theme of the album is that to today's music industry, all the heroes of the rap game are dead. But the theme of the album is that to R.A., they're not. They're very much alive. But to the industry, they're dead. Now, this couldn't be more evident than on the song Legendary Loser. That's track 2. Now, it's a clever subliminal diss song to today's rappers like 6ix9ine. Now, in the music video clip, R.A. pokes fun of 6ix9ine. He does a parody of the Tekashi 6ix9ine, and he's basically clowning the industry and saying that these new school rappers are a slave to a money making machine that doesn't care about their well-being. So that's what he tries to stress on track 2, and the way he does it is incredible. Track 3, Golden Oldies, is more of an ode to old school rappers. It's a nice little gem, but not as powerful as some of the other songs on the album. Track 4 has an amazingly soulful hook. It tells a story that has a powerful message about, young kids caught up on drug addiction and what that does. It really is one of the best songs on the album. Track 4, it's called Wondering. Worth checking out. It stands out to me. It's probably, easily the best song on the album. It's incredible. Now, track 5 is like a Wu-Tang song. It features Ghostface Killah and Master Killer and old school rap legend Cool G Rap. It's called Dragonfire. It reminds me of, your classic Wu-Tang. Is definitely a nice little gem worth checking out. Track 6, this is where he just showcases what he can do with his flow and how he does that double time flow, that supple flow that, it really, really showcases just the capabilities of R.A. the Rugged Man and why he is one of the best MCs living. There's no doubt about it. If, you want that proof, go to track 6 and you'll see what I mean. Track 9 is like his double time flow on steroids. So he ups the ante again and, really shows off what he can do. It's incredible. Track 10 is more classic boom bap. It tells a part of, Ra's story. R.A.'s basically describing, he's telling you a story from his life, and he does the classic boom bap flow to do that. And also track 11, is another very similar song to what you consider like a Wu-Tang track. Track 12 is a track I love. Now this is an attack on political correctness, and R.A. makes some really, really good points. He says a lot of controversial stuff. He doesn't care what he says, and it is a jab in the face of political correctness. He says, the most politically incorrect things on track 12, and he's basically saying that, that this is how he was brought up, and he can say whatever he wants. So he is fighting for freedom of speech with that song. So track 12 is probably, the second greatest song on this album. Then track 13 was another incredibly fast rapping song. Track 14 is basically highlighting all the hypocrisies of the world that RA sees and understands. He's a very educated man, and he's telling it how it is on track 14, and all the hypocrisies that he sees around him and the world he lives in. And track 15, my God, you have to, if there's one track on this album that you have to listen to apart from track 4, Wandering, is track 15. It features Ice-T, Vinnie Paz, the group Brand Nubian, and the guys from Onyx. It's incredible. Like, it really is a star-studded track, with so many versatile and potent MCs. It's really, my second favorite song, or third favorite if you consider that I really dig track 12. But yeah, track 15 is a must. Track 19 is very political, and it's with Immortal Technique, so it does justice to Immortal Technique style. And it's called Who Do We Trust, and it's about it's a song about who do we put faith in today's world. So track 19 is also a special one. And then you got track 20, features Chuck D from Public Enemy. He really has, he's put his team together well for this album. Like, it's incredible. I would say it is a masterpiece. It has to be one of the best hip hop albums out there. And then he's even got a very introspective song, The Afterlife, track 22. Very introspective song. This album is an absolute gem. It's a classic in my eyes, and I don't say that lightly. I've heard thousands of hip hop albums in my time. I've listened to thousands, millions of, well, not millions of songs, but hundreds of thousands of songs in my time. I really have a vast repository of music that I've listened to over the years. And this album is up there with some of the best albums from hip hop that I've ever heard. It's a stark contrast to, these new school artists dropping albums that are absolute garbage. Like Tekashi 6ix9ine. Let's face it, this album is on the opposite end of the spectrum to that. And it's an absolute masterpiece. And I think that there's, albums that I'd put in my top 5 of all time. I'm going to call it. This goes in there. So I gave this album 5 mics. And if the Source magazine was still in press like it was in the 90s and early 2000s, then this would be a 5 mic album. This would be up there. And if it didn't get 5 mics, I'd question why it didn't. Incredible. From one of the best MCs living and breathing, and there's no doubt about it. R.A. the Rugged Man has dropped an absolute gem, if not one of the greatest hip-hop albums of the modern era, at least. I'd say the last 20 years. So get onto this album. Don't sleep on it, because if you sleep on it, you're just not hip-hop. Anyway, I'm Emcee Rapology. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you thought of the album. Don't sleep on this album. Get back to me. Peace.